Howdy, tabletop RPG fans. Thank you for supporting this channel. I'm Rangami, Grand Poobah of Game Design, and it's Reviews Day, where I show you some of my favorite RPGs from the past are available now. Today we're reviewing Dungeons & Dragons from 1974, the game that has had more impact on my career than anything else, the game that started it all. While D&D started in 1974, it wasn't until fall 1977, my senior year in high school, that I learned about it. My girlfriend was a J.R.R. Tolkien fan and gave me The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings to read. My high school friends taught me Dungeons & Dragons, and RPGs have been my number one game choice for over 40 years. The white box included 3 booklets, each about 40 pages long, and a 4th booklet of reference materials that was about 20 pages long. This is the same format used today for RPG zines, including my own SMAFFRPGs. These books introduced all of the usual character classes, races, spells, monsters, and ideas of wilderness and underground adventures, what we called dungeons. It should be noted that the booklets included crude illustrations, and several of them depicted nude women, something my mother was concerned would corrupt the mind of her 17-year-old little boy. If only she knew. The first book was Men and Magic. The term RPG, or role-playing game, didn't even exist. The booklets referred to the rules as guidelines for making your own fantasy-based miniatures game. The rules used referee instead of dungeon master and referenced from 4 to 50 players. Needed equipment included 2d4, 4 to 20d6, 2d8, 2d12, and 2d20, assuming one of each type of dice for the players and referee. You still needed chainmail rules as well. Nice marketing, I never bought it. A 3-ring binder for each player. Graph paper, it says 6 to an inch is best, but I preferred 10 to an inch. Sheet protectors, the heaviest possible. Paper, pencils, 1 patient referee, players, and perhaps the most important ingredient on the list, imagination. There were 3 classes. Fighting men, humans referred to as men, elves, dwarves, and halflings. Magic users were humans and elves. Clerics were human only. I believe it is a common myth that races were considered classes, as I never had that designation while playing the original D&D. Perhaps my favorite rule, other character types, which allowed me to play a variety of non-official characters for my wild imagination. Players and referees could use custom character classes and custom character races without restriction as long as they were agreed upon by the referee. Alignment was by racial type and was treated more like a faction. Law, neutrality, and chaos. Only humans could pick alignment, a rule that was easily dismissed. The typical 9 personality type alignments didn't come until later editions. Changing character classes was generally frowned upon, but we would do it anyway. Racial level caps were also ignored. The second book was Monsters and Treasure. It was filled with scary encounter tables, including suggestions like 4 to 400 goblins or kobolds, or even 30 to 300 orcs. Thankfully, that is not how we played. Even 1 opponent for every player was a significant battle. The magic sword rules included very complicated intelligence and ecosystems that would have a magic sword overtake the character who used it. We learned right away that some of these suggestions were just too dangerous for our tastes. There's an old saying about how to get men to shop more. Make catalogs of superpowers. This book included all the coolest stuff about monsters and magical items, and this is where the DMs would become inspired and plot ways to incorporate either into their adventures. Even if only 1 magical item was found every few adventures, it felt like a game changer and filled the players with both tactical ideas and envy. The third book was the Underworld and Wilderness Adventures. It provided simple but useful examples of mapping dungeon or wilderness adventures, including complex mazes, secret doors, and hidden encounters. Challenges like traps or environmental hazards were explained. There was a lot of new jargon to be learned in RPGs. Players had levels of power. The dungeons were broken into zones called levels as well, and the more you explored and the deeper the levels you exposed, the riskier the encounters became. The very terms of level up and level design originated from these original D&D books. Perhaps the most important paragraph is the last one, which says, "Trimming will have to be added by the referee and players. We have attempted to furnish an ample framework." And then it continues, "For everything here is fantastic, and the best way to decide how you would like it to be and make it just that way." Later, 4 more books were sold as supplements. These booklets also fit nicely in the original white box. Greyhawk, Gary Gygax's campaign world, added the thief class, changes the fighting men to fighters, and describes a subclass called Paladin. Blackmore, Dave Arneson's campaign world, added monks and assassin classes. Eldritch Wizardry included lots of new rules along with corrections, adaptations, and explanations, but it also included the Druid class. Gods, Demigods, and Heroes, a companion of the world's mythologies and legends, added even more encounters. Today's modern RPG zines, or Zine Quest on Kickstarter, all pay homage to these classic RPG booklets made from folded sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper stapled together, which is why my own smaller, faster, funnier RPGs fit this format too. This episode is brought to you by Kaboomkin, the smaller, faster, funnier RPG of cartoon, fairy tale, post-apocalypse mayhem. It's time to blow stuff up. Get it now at www.kaboomkin.com. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hit like, subscribe, or ring the bell, or Booger will get you. If you want to see more videos like this, go to hopspush.com and buy an RPG or t-shirt. Do good, annoy evil, and bye-bye.